Well, I hope the notification is out for you guys. Sandey Adelaja here, ready to continue my teachings and my series on calling. Okay, welcome everyone. Who is going to be the first person we are welcoming? Who are we starting with? Shegun Fatuma, hi. Obi is back. Obi Ojibado is back. Elizabeth Ali, Bola Luro, Rochelle White, Ludovic Mele, Akiyemi Adebayo, hi. Oluwatoyin Pam Pam, wow, what a name, Pam Pam. Julius Michael, hi. Ifo Echo Peace, Apute Ben, Victor Ogudipe, Gloria Ohia, Idowu Gideon, hi. Promise Obata, right? Primrose Obasa, Flair Karim Matip, Justin Mayo, Prince Adekunle Omire, Perez David, Fajo Regbe Oluwaseye, Great Jesse Ann, Molly, Olu Kayode Ekundayo, John Akinleye, Esther Kuganja, Glenn Shannon, Pastor Irene, Charles Smith. Welcome everyone. As you are coming in, let's quickly go and share the link. Let's quickly go and share the link for this message, okay? If you don't mind, go look for your share button and let's begin to share the link. Let's go share that link right now so that we could start on time. Okay, let's go share the link. Nikki Okoro, welcome. Rindy Davis. As soon as you share the link, we'll be ready to go. Walter Otanda, Paul Eric Gidov, welcome everyone. Joseph Visione Duro, wow, Shioma, Landon Adebayo, Sharon Mir, Bobo. Well, let's go share the link. Ashish is here from India, welcome. Michael Zoe, welcome everyone, welcome. Omo Wanuola Olu Elijah, wow. Walter Otanda, blessing. Ajayi Amaka, blessings. Nkem Dike, blessing. Perez, okay, it's sharing. Perez is the name of my son, by the way. Okush Oshuko, blessing. Well, we're ready to go. Now, I have Apostle Yomi, welcome. Well, I think if I'm to make this statement that I'm about to make, I would think it is justified. And the statement I'm about to make is that I am convinced, I am personally convinced that I've done a good job and I've done justice to the topic, how to find your calling. That is my belief, personal belief, that I've done enough to help everyone that is truly interested to discover what their calling and their destiny is. If they are really interested in finding that out. If that is their passion, if what they are interested in is in finding out what their calling is, I think I've done more than enough. That's my own personal conviction. So why am I saying this? The reason I'm saying this is because I want to move ahead. I'm not moving away from that topic yet. And if there's something that you are yet to understand, go to this book, Who Am I? Why am I here? How to discover your calling and purpose in life. Who am I? Why am I here? It is on Amazon and it is on Okada books and all that. But like, I'm not singing my praise. The point I'm trying to make is that just because that topic on how to find your calling is just a small fragment of the big topic about how to come to fulfillment in life. So I started last week Wednesday, 2 times a day. That will almost equal to, let's say, 5 days. 5 days, no, 2 times a day. That is like 10 messages minimum. So minimum we have 10 or 12 messages on this topic. And if you are really interested in getting to know what your life purpose is, you can go after it. You can go and listen to all the recordings on my blog and on my YouTube page. On my blog and on my YouTube page. So go find your calling. That shouldn't be any question anymore for anybody to discover who they are, who their callings. The myth have been dissolved. The question has been answered. Just, go get the book, okadabooks.com or amazon.com. You'll be able to get the book Who Am I and other books as well. So that is about that. Now, what do I want to do today? Today, I happen to talk to one of my new friends, thanks to this, our broadcast. No, actually, she wrote me because thanks to my book, Money Won't Make You Rich. So Shioma is her name, and Shioma called me. She wanted to speak to me today, and we had a good talk. And then she came up with questions. She's been listening to my teachings, and she is coming up with some critical questions about my teachings on callings. So that's why that is what dictated the topic of today. I've stopped talking about how to find it. If you need to know how to find your calling, now the onus is on you, and the ball is in your court. Go and look for the messages on my YouTube page, on my blog, Sandei Adelajah blog, and go and listen to them. But I'm going to continue because we still need to talk about how to make money from your calling. We still need to talk about how to turn your passion to money. We still need to talk about how to, we need to talk about a lot of things, how you could make money from everything that you have, how you could turn your money to money. I mean, how you could become a millionaire through your gift. Every one of you could become a millionaire through your gift. But becoming a millionaire is a small thing. The most important thing is to glorify God and to fulfill God's will, God's purpose in your life. Well, so the message of today is critical questions about my teachings, about your teachings on calling. So there are some critical questions Shioma was asking me about my teachings, all these my teachings about calling. So the first question she's asking is, Pastor, you've made the point, and we understand now that we all have to discover our calling, and that our calling is buried inside of us. We understand that. We understand that we shouldn't just look for a job and just be working for salary, but we should be working for destiny. We understand that. Pastor, we understand. You made the point very clear that work is given to us as a gift from God to fulfill purpose. Work is a gift from God to every one of us to fulfill purpose. And she said she understands that as well. But there are some practical life questions right now to someone like her who is really living in the real world. I want to do what you have said. I want to fulfill my calling. But where I am right now, she said she asked questions for three categories of people. The first question is, what should those who are not working do? I'm jobless. What should I do? I don't have a job. I've listened to your teaching. I've heard what you said. You need to fulfill your calling. That is all right. We are willing. We are not against fulfilling our calling. But I'm jobless. I'm not having a job. No work, no salary, no job, no money. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do with your teaching? What should come next? So that's number one question that she has. Number two question that she has is, there are 40 million Nigerians. She's from Nigeria, by the way. There are 40 million Nigerians, and she lives there in Nigeria. So there are 40 million young people in Nigeria who are jobless. 40 million. Even if you employ 1 million, it's nothing compared to 40 million. It's like a whole country. So 40 million of them that are jobless, what should be done with your teaching now? You are teaching us, find your purpose, don't look for job, look for fulfillment, look for purpose. What do we tell the people who are jobless, 40 million of them? Wow, what should they do? That's our second question. Our third question is, what should those people who are listening to you now do? Those people who are listening to you now, what should they do? Because they are already working somewhere. Those people who are listening to you, who have already missed it, who have already gone to just get a job, qualified as a medical doctor, or just got some degree, and they are working as just got a job and are working. And they know that they are not following their passion, they are not fulfilling calling, they are not fulfilling their destiny, they are not fulfilling their life goals and life purpose, they are not fulfilling their calling. What should they do? Should they resign their jobs? Should they just continue working in where they found themselves and hope that could count as their profession or their calling, that maybe their calling, their profession is automatically, or wherever they are working is automatically their calling? But they know that it's not. So what should they do? That's the next question she asked. I think those are 3 questions already. She still has one more question. The number 5 question. What about the retirees? The retirees, the senior citizens, old people, those who are retired, those who have lived their lives pursuing the wrong things, those who have lived their lives not finding or discovering their purposes, those who have given 40 years, 50 years, 60 years of their lives, and they are still alive. And now they are just discovering their purpose and their calling. What should they do? What should they do? Well, guys, these are the questions that Shioma has for me. And these are critical questions. These are critical questions. Very critical. For some people, the answer could become a lifeline. And for some people, these questions are questions of life and death. So, what should be done right now? What can we do with all these questions that we have? Well, I'm here to provide answers to your questions. And especially when it comes to my country, Nigeria, that's why I wrote this book. I want to talk about myself as somebody that has answers to our nation's problems. And if you don't have this book, you might need to get a copy of it. It's on Okada Books as well, and it's on Okada Books and on Amazon. So you might want to get a copy for yourself. So the first question is, we understand what you are teaching, that the most important thing in life is to discover who you are. We understand the fact that you say that our calling is in us, and that our calling should be discovered from within us because it is put in us during creation. That God himself created us with a purpose, that we are already packaged to resolve a question and to address an issue on earth. We were sent here with a purpose, we were sent here with a goal, we were sent here to fulfill a mission. Now the question now is, what about those who did not know about this, and they just living their life as they found it? They're just living as they were told to live. They are just living as they were instructed to live. They are just being told to go and get a job, a good paying job. A job where they could guarantee themselves some salary. A job that they could be sure they will make a living by. So they are living like that. That's their lives. That's their life. What should they do right now? So the first question is, what should those people do who don't have a job? They don't even have a job. they will be happy to get any job. And our country is a country where people are looking for jobs so that they could be secured to have salary. Because for a lot of people, salary is a means of sustaining their homes. Salary is a means of sustaining their families. Salary is a means of them putting food on the table. Salary is a means for them to send their kids to school. And here comes Pastor Sandey and say, don't look for a job. Okay, let's start with that concept that don't look for a job. Don't ever look for a job. And these people are already jobless. So if you say they're already jobless, what should they do? If they, let's start with them. Those people who are not working right now in Nigeria, what should they do? Those who are not working, or in any country. If you are not working, what should you do? Listen closely. For those people who are not working, I think you have to write these things down, point by point, okay? Point number one. If you are jobless, find out, you should discover, you should know that your solution, your answer is not in some work or job out there. Your most important answer that you must discover for yourself is this. You carry the solution to your own life issues and questions. The salary you need is in you. The provision you need, the resources you need to sustain your life is buried in you. So the first thing you must discover is this. Number one, you must first of all discover who you are. And who you are is not far-fetched. You don't need to go to pray to the mountain. You don't need to go to the mountain to pray to discover who you are. You don't need to. You don't need to look for prophets to prophesy over you about who you are. You don't need to. You need to look inside yourself. You need to study yourself to discover who you are. Who you are is buried inside you. Who you are is buried inside you. And let me quickly give you some of the keys that have been examined here. I dedicated 1 hour each day to teach on who you are and what your callings are. And if you have been following me for the past 1 week at least, although I've been here for the past, not 1 week, but I've been here for the past 3 months talking and teaching. If you don't have my teaching, if you have not been following my teaching, please go to my blogs, SandeyAdelajablog.com, and you will see all the teachings. Or you could go to my YouTube page and discover all those my teachings. But more teachings are on my blog, SandeyAdelajablog.com, and of course YouTube page is Sandey Adelaja Official. So, but let's just assume that you don't have those teachings. Well, I wanted to give you the list of the teachings that I've done. But, I don't want to be distracted. So let's say you go and look for that yourself. So the first thing you need to do is to discover who you are. How do you discover who you are? Number one, number one thing is for you to discover who you are. Discover who you are. I'm not going to repeat that anymore. I'm not going to go into that, how to discover who you are. You already, have those teachings. Go and look for them. Once you discover who you are, and who you are is inside of you. Once you discover that you are gifted and you are called, or you are, you discover your giftings and your potentials, make a list of those things that you can do, that you are good in. All those things that come to you naturally. Make a list of them. Once you make that list, find out the ones that are the most, the best ones, where you are better than the others. So we are talking to those people who are jobless. We are talking to those people who don't have any work. But just find a room, close the door, and just be alone to yourself and by yourself. Be alone with yourself and with God. What if you don't have the teachings? Take the teachings that I gave you. Because if you are jobless, that's one of the best times of your life. Get a way of finding these teachings that I gave. All these teachings, if you know, people in Nigeria say they don't have internet, or they don't have what they call it. They don't have data. They don't have data, or they don't have data. They cannot download it. Write to, find people who have downloaded it. Write to people, or find people who have downloaded a video. And if you don't know who to find like that, go and find Diepere. Diepere Tiger. I'm sure it's online right now. It comes online here regularly. Go to his Facebook page. Diepere Tiger, Taiger, Tiger. And Diepere is Diepere. That's for people in Nigeria. But for people outside of Nigeria, you don't need data. Go to my blog. You will be able to. So if you are jobless, I envy you. You are the happiest person in the world. If you are jobless, wow. You have a huge advantage you cannot even imagine. So if you are jobless, the first advantage is that you have the greatest wealth in your disposal. And that wealth is, okay, Ben Apute is saying he has downloaded 70 video. Contact him. How do they contact you, Ben? Do you have your telephone or email so that they could contact you? He has everything downloaded. He has 70 downloaded. Okay, so he will be able to give you a lot of those. But there are many teachings. I have over 500 messages on my blog. So anyway, but he has 70 downloaded video. But you could also download audio. But if you are jobless, if you don't have job, you are the most fortunate person in Nigeria right now, or in any country you are in. You are the most fortunate person. If you are jobless, congratulations. Anybody that is jobless, let me give you high five. Take my high five. High five for you. High five for you. You know how many people are dreaming to be like you? You know how many people are dreaming to be jobless? You know how many people are dreaming to be jobless? All of you are jobless. Mwah, 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 ah. If you are jobless, I envy you. And a lot of people are envying you. Let me tell you why. First of all, let us discuss why people think joblessness is bad. You are jobless because you don't have money. People think joblessness is bad because you don't have money. Since you don't have job, then you don't have money, okay? That is bad. That's one disadvantage of being jobless. Number two disadvantage of being jobless, you don't have regular income. That is number two. Number two, disadvantages of being jobless. So the number one disadvantage of being jobless is that you don't have money. This number two disadvantage of being jobless is that you don't have, constant income. And then number three disadvantage of being jobless is that you cannot afford for yourself whatever you want. But it's not humor. Somebody said they like my humor, but this is not humor. This is all with all seriousness, that if you are jobless, you are one of the most fortunate person right now alive. You are one of you should be one of the happiest individuals in the world. This is not joke. This is not joke. This is not joke. I'm not joking. This is not joke. This is not joke at all. This is not joke. If you are jobless, you should be an envy of the world right now. But for you to know what I'm saying and to value what I'm saying, you must understand what I understand. That joblessness is one of the greatest blessings you could have as of today. And that is because I've told you the three disadvantages of joblessness. I've just told you the three disadvantages of joblessness. You don't have money, you don't have salary, and you cannot afford everything you want. Those are the three major disadvantages of joblessness. Okay, now let me give you the advantages of joblessness. Let me give you the advantages of joblessness. Number one advantage of joblessness is that joblessness exposes you to the greatest wealth that is there in the world. Joblessness exposes you to the greatest wealth that is out there. Joblessness exposes you, opens you up to the largest amount of wealth that is out there. Joblessness opens you up and puts you face to face with the greatest wealth the world has ever known. And that wealth, the greatest wealth that the world has ever known, that wealth is the wealth of time. That wealth that God created is the wealth of time. You are face to face with the greatest resource that is there in the world. Can you imagine if you are jobless? You have all the time in the world to do anything you want to do. But the problem of those people who are jobless is that they don't realize that that is an opportunity to explore the greatest wealth that is out there for them. And that greatest wealth is time. They don't recognize the wealth of time. That's one of their problems. Number two of their problems is that even when they are jobless and they have all the time in the world, they don't know what to do with their time. Of course, if you don't know what to do with your time and you are jobless, that is catastrophic for you. But it's not the joblessness that is catastrophic. It is the inability to know what to do with your time that is catastrophic. All right? It is not the fact that you are jobless that is catastrophic. The fact that you don't know what to do with your time is what is catastrophic. So to be jobless is one of the greatest blessings the world and life and destiny can give you. To be jobless is one of the greatest blessings destiny and God Almighty can offer you. Because when you are jobless, you are, second advantage, you are stripped of all strings. All strings are cut off you. You are clean. You are set free from all strings. The manipulative strings, the controlling strings that make you into a minorette, like a puppet. All strings that makes you into a puppet are being broken away from you because of joblessness. One of the greatest bondages in the world is job. One of the greatest bondages of life is job, is to have a job. The second greatest bondage in the whole world is salary. Only slaves are looking for salary. And only slaves are desperate and looking for job. So, once you are jobless, if you could realize that you are being exposed to the greatest wealth that is available in the whole universe, a giant will arise in you. A giant will arise in you. A giant will arise in you. I can only begin to imagine right now what I would do, all things that I could begin to do if I am jobless. If I were to be jobless, wow! If I were not to be busy, if I were not to do anything, if I were to be jobless, oh, wow. A whole world of possibilities is opening to me. And I'm going to take you one by one, step by step, into this world of possibilities. Number one, I told you this morning that for you to be a genius in anything, I told you this morning that people who become great in any endeavor become great because they spend time. They must spend a certain amount of time, a certain amount, quality of time and quantity of time doing something. For you to become great in any endeavor, this has been scientifically proven that you must spend 10,000 hours. That is time. 10,000 hours. You must spend 10,000 hours investing yourself into that project. You must spend 10,000 hours either researching, studying it, doing the work, practicing, rehearsing, anything that you need to do. You must spend 10,000 hours doing that thing. What is it about 10,000 hours? That is the amount of time. It is a measurement of time. 10,000 hours is a measurement of time. Measurement of time. Measurement of time. If you are jobless, why can't you make a calculation? Like you say, I want to be investing 10 hours a day. 10 hours a day, calculate it for me. 10 hours a day into, until I want to invest 10 hours a day into my passion, into my destiny, or into my purpose. Let's say your purpose is to discover, I want to become an inventor today. Even if it's not your purpose, even if you just want to do it, any goal you want to attain in life, if you will invest 10,000 hours in it, you will not just get to that goal, you will become one of the best in the world. Let's say you begin to invest 10 hours every day. How many days will you need to be able to have 10,000 hours? 10 hours a day, we have 1,000 days. That is how many in months or in years? 3 years. So in 3 years, 3.5 years, if you decide to invest 10 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 10 hours a day in a given project. Let's say you decide to invest 10 hours a day to discover the cure for cancer. By the time you finish, even if you did not get the cure for cancer, you would have gotten a little or many other inventions, many other discovery that would have made you one of the best in the world in 3 years. Let's say 4 years. Just by investing 10 hours a day. If you decide to invest 10 hours a day into becoming Olympic champion, let's say in swimming, just like the guy from Singapore that we just saw in the Olympics, 10 hours, he didn't do 10 hours a day, he did 3 hours a day. But in the next 8 years, it was not even 10,000 hours, 10,000 hours. He did enough. In the next 8 years, he was already overcoming the person that everybody saw as a god in swimming, Michael Phelps. He was beaten by this young man who was 7 years old. I was given the principle to maximize time. There is nothing as powerful as time. If you will know what to do with time, if you will take 10 hours, let's say 10 hours a day is too much. Okay, let's take 5 hours a day. If you take 5 hours a day in 6 years, you can become anything you ever want to become. If you want to become an inventor, invest 5 hours a day in studying that particular subject, in investigating that particular subject. In the next 6 years, 5 to 6 years, you will become the best in that subject in the world. If you will qualitatively work, giving 5 hours a day to anything, not even 10 hours a day, let's take 5 hours a day, investing, learning, studying, investigating, researching on any subject on a daily basis. So if you are jobless, that is the greatest blessing you could find. Because most people will never find 5 hours a day after their job. Because of job, everybody is busy. Because if you have a job, that means you have minimum 8 hours to go and work for salary. That means you are wasting 8 hours regularly just going to work. By the time you come back, travel and come back 2 hours to and fro, you don't have time to spend another 5 to 10 hours investing in your destiny and in your calling. Let's say you are a young man and your area is running and you are gifted in running. Begin to invest that amount of time in training or in boxing or in sports, any sports. Just begin to practice. That is exactly what Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan was told that he would never become a basketballer, that he is not gifted in it. But he began to invest hours in the net. By the time he invested 10,000 hours, he became the best basketballer in the history of the whole world. Time. What you do with your time. If you could maximize time, if you know what to do with time. So those people that are saying they are jobless, find something. Okay, then somebody will ask me and say, but how would the person eat in Nigeria, for example, or in any other country? How would they pay their bills? How would they eat? Okay. Let's say you take up your mind. Let's say you say, my calling is to become a writer or a singer or a musician or an actor, and I'll be investing 5 hours a day into it. Okay, but 5 hours a day is for my calling. Now I will just go and get something to do for 3 hours a day. I will go and find maybe anything to do. Maybe I will go and find somebody to clean their moors, to mow their lawns, or I will go and clean their house, or I will go and help them to carry their bag, or clean their shoe. I will do anything for 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day, just to get by, to get enough salary, to get enough sustenance. You can do that if you are not afraid, because you know where you are going to, and you know the destiny that is waiting for you. So you are not afraid of humiliating yourself, of humbling yourself and doing any kind of job for now. You are not afraid, you are not humiliated, you are not ashamed. You know that you are sacrificing the next 2-3 years so that you might be able to become who you need to become. So anybody that is saying that is unemployed right now, it's even easy let's even leave the idea of becoming somebody. For you to, when you are even unemployed, that is easy to resolve. That's an easy thing. Go meet anybody. First of all, if you're unemployed, how can you get a job? You can get a job easy. There's no problem about getting a job. Go to any company or write your application to any company and tell them, I will do anything you ask me to do. Most people cannot do anything you ask them to do, or they are not willing to do anything you ask them to do. Or, I will never leave a job uncompleted. Many people never complete the job you give to them. Next one, you could just go to anybody and say, I will never ask you for the second time whenever you give me an assignment. I will never ask you to repeat what you said. Because many high achievers and many successful people, they hate it when people keep on asking them all over again, what did you say? How do you do that? I get instruction, I obey instruction, I know how to obey instructions. If you are that kind of person, you get the job. So getting the job is not even the assignment that we are after. That's just slavery. We don't want to sell ourselves to slavery. Getting a job should always be seen as a temporary thing. Going for a job and salary should always be seen as something temporary. You could only maintain a job just temporarily while you are investing in your destiny. Okay, let's say you are already, maybe you need money to do something. Go and get a job. And once you get that job, know that that job is not your goal. Know that that job is only a stepping stone. There might be only two reasons to get a job. Number one, because you need experience. Because you want to go and get some experience and learn from those people you are working with. Because you need the skills those people have and want to offer you. Because you need, to sharpen your skills, to have some knowledge. That might be another reason why you need a job. But while you are working there, you know that that is a stepping stone for you to become. Your sight should be on your goal, on your target, on what you are, where you are going. So while you are doing your job for a few hours, don't go and sell yourself for a job for 8 hours or 10 hours a day. Take only a few hours a day. Take temporary job that's just enough for you to survive. Make a living, just enough for you to make a living. 3 hours a job, 4 hours job a day, and then make sure that you are investing the rest of the 5 hours or that you have in the day, because normally the working hour anyway is 8 hours. So you work for 3 hours or 4 hours to just make a living, then 5 hours or 4 hours you go and spend it to investigate, to research, to work on your own gifts and your calling. By the time you do that for the next 5 to 6 years, you are sustaining yourself, you are meeting your needs, but also you are going ahead with your destiny. But that is if you are totally jobless, if you are nobody. But if you have some initial money, then you have to do just investment, and how to do investment, how to invest, how to make money, how to economize money and to grow money, everything. I did that already 2 months ago. I did a series of teaching on finances, loss of money and all that. Go and listen to that one. But if you are jobless, make sure that you first of all find out who you are, what you have passion for, what you are created to do, and begin to sharpen that gift. Begin to work on that gift. Begin to cultivate that gift. Begin to develop that gift. By the time you spend 10,000 hours doing that, you will have become the best in the world. People who spend 10,000 hours doing one and the same thing, they become the top 1% in the world. And if you become the top 1% in the world, there is nothing else you need. That is why I said in the morning that one of the things you have to stop doing fast, if you are a religious person that has been spending so many hours just going to church, because there are some churches that have turned the church into a labor camp. And what you now do in churches is that you go there every day. They make you to go to church every day or 3 times a day, a week, every day of the week, 3 times a week or 4 times a week, 5 times a week. Just go in there without having anything to show for it. That time is the time you are supposed to have invested in your life, in your destiny, in the purpose of God for your life, in the mission of God, in the calling and the destiny that God called you for. Can you imagine if you have been spending 3 hours every day to write a book? For example, I can write a book in 5 days, in 1 week. Because once I sit down for 8 hours, I write 10,000 words in 8 hours or 15,000 words. And in 5 days, that is 50,000 words. That's 300-page book. 5 days to write 300-page book. 5 days. 5 days. 5 days. But if you don't have 10 hours like me to write a day or 8 hours, okay, take 4 hours every day or 3 hours every day. Write a chapter every day. By the time you write 3 hours a day, or 4 hours a day by chapter, in 10 days or 20 days, you have a whole book. At worst, you can get a book in 1 month. And, if that's your gift, by the time you discover it, you are one of the best in the world. You have already so many books. The same thing with singing. The same thing with anything, with invention, anything you are doing. If you will develop yourself, if your own area is, working with children and you'll be a teacher, if by the time you develop yourself and fine-tune yourself as a teacher, everybody will be looking for you in the society. Everybody will be looking for you to teach them. Everybody will be looking for you as the master communicator. If you are jobless, it's one of the greatest gifts you could have. And that is because time is one of the greatest resources God has given to humanity. Can you imagine the first, everybody is talking about what God created. But the first thing God created is time. And that is probably one of the most important things God created and gave to us. Because when God said, let there be light, we think that is a creation on its own. But that is not a complete creation. Because when God said, let there be light, he saw that there was darkness in that light. And he went ahead and divided the light from the darkness. And he said, this is the day, this is the day, and this is the night. And that is the first day. So the first thing God created was really time. Upon time, everything stands. Upon time, humanity stands. Upon time, the universe stands. Upon time, the earth stands. The earth stands on the leg of time. The leg of time and space. There are two things God created first. He created time and space. Those are the two things God created. So the first thing he created was time. The second thing he created was space. And that is another subject. I have a book on that. I have an old book on that. And that book is called Life is Time. Life is Time. So if you don't have my book that is called Life is Time, go to Amazon. Go to Amazon. You'll find it there. Life is Time. Life is Time. Life is Time. So the most important reason, why is it that God created time first? Why is it that it is time that God first created? It is because if you understand time, every other thing will be built on it. It is because the time is the foundation upon which you stand. Time is what the foundation upon which your life is supposed to stand. That is why Solomon, the wisest of all men, says there is time. Time. He didn't say there is money. There is time for everything. Time and season for everything. It's not, money is consequential. Money comes after there is understanding of time. It is the understanding of time that brings money. And it is the right usage of time that multiplies money. It is time and consistency that multiplies money, that brings money and multiplies money. So time is a money generator. And if you have just lost your job and if you are jobless, you have been exposed to the wealth of time. Only you need to know how to do with it. And that's why I'm telling you this conversation, telling you this message. So somebody is asking, how can I join this conversation? But you are already here now. You are asking me the question. How can he join? You have already joined. That's why you are asking the question now. Or maybe you want to say, how can you join every day? I'm here every day, 7:30 in the morning, British time, and Nigerian time is 7:30 a.m. Nigerian time, British time, 7:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. in the evening. That is British time and Nigerian time, 7 p.m. But American time is 2:30 a.m. Eastern time, and then 2 p.m. Eastern time in America. So you're already here. Anyway, well, what was I saying before the man came with his question? So so time is a money generator. Time is a money generator. So that's why God created time first, so that everything will be based and built on time. So if you will know what time is, if you be able to understand time, you are a dangerous man. There will be nothing that is not possible for you, that will not be possible for you. More than that, beyond that, besides that, there's the second gift that God gave to man that is as strong as time. The second gift that is only comparable with time is labor, work. The gift of work, wow, is one of the greatest things you could ever discover. The gift of work is one of the greatest things you could ever discover. By the time you merge the gift of work, the ability to work and labor, by the time you merge it with time, you become a world changer. You become a world changer. And don't you ever believe those preachers who tell you that work is a curse and work is a source of is as a result of curse. That's a lie from hell. because work was established in the Garden of Eden before sin, before curse came, before sin came. So work was established in the Garden of Eden. The Bible says that God took the man that he created and put him in the Garden of Eden and told him to work, and told him to labor, and told him to cultivate the ground, and to till the ground, and to keep the ground. So work is part of our nature, is one of the greatest gifts of God. If work is a curse, then it means God is under a curse, because God himself worked. And Jesus spoke about his Father and said, my Father worketh until now. My Father worketh hitherto, and I work also. So if work is a curse, it means that Jesus is under a curse, because he said, I work, and I must work while it is day. If work is a curse, it means that God himself is under a curse. It means God that works hitherto is under a curse. So those people who are jobless, they must begin to invest in themselves through work, and they must begin to invest time in themselves through work, refining themselves, developing themselves, and investing in themselves through work, and investing time in themselves through work, hard work. You must begin to work for your gift. You must begin to work in your area of calling. You must begin to work in your calling, in your destiny, in your purpose. When you till your own ground, you till your own ground. Everybody has got their own ground. Everybody has got their own territory. Everybody has got their own land that they must invest in, that they must till for God. Some of you are only tilling the ground for your pastor, as if your pastor has a calling. That is ludicrous and shameful. You are supposed to be tilling your own ground, not just the ground for your pastor. Your pastor has his own ground and is already fulfilling his own purpose and in his own territory. That's why he started that church, and that's why he's pastoring that church. But he is supposed to, if he's a man of God and he has the fear of God and he has understanding, he's supposed to be helping you to discover your own ground, your own land of calling, your own territory, your own land that you must till. Every human must have their own ground that they must till. That is why God took the man, the first man that was created, he took him to this land, to the Garden of Eden, to his land, and made him to look at the land and told him to till the ground. All of us have our own land that we must till. All of us have our own calling. Your own land that you must till must be your own sphere of influence, or your land of promise might be engineering. It could be anything. It could be hairdressing. It could be beauty salon. It could be business. It could be finance. It could be politics. It could be media. It could be art. It could be entertainment. It could be anything. There is no human being that is sent to this world without his own territory. Don't let any false teacher, any false prophet tell you that if God brought you to his church, it means that you are only there in his church to only work for him and for his own vision. So that is ludicrous. That is an insult to God Almighty. You should not be working only for the vision of one man. Every man is sent to this world with a vision. Every man is sent to this world with a purpose. So if you discover that your own purpose first and make it your land of promise and begin to invest in it, begin to till in it. So if you are jobless, that is a wonderful time for you. First of all, to discover your purpose, to discover your promised land. If you don't know how to discover it, get in touch with Ben. Ben just wrote now that he has all my messages on it. So get in touch with him. Let him send the messages to you on how to discover your calling. Once you discover your calling, begin to go to work. If you are jobless, you are so much fortunate. You are much more luckier than all these people who are working. You go ask people who are in America and in Europe. I mean, they cannot do it without working. They have become servants of work. They have become slaves to their work, because work has become a slave. Work has become, bondage, because they have to pay for the bills, they have to pay for this, pay for that, and they have to continue to work so that they don't lose it. They don't even remember about their calling. They don't even remember about their purpose. They don't even remember their promised land. They don't even have time for that, because they are working for another man's field. It could be a pastor, it could be a businessman, it could be some government office that you are working for. That is all people's territories. find your own territory and begin to work for you. So if you are jobless, it is your opportunity to begin to discover your own land of promise and begin to invest your life, invest your time, and invest your energy in cultivating your own land of promise. And let me tell you something about your own land of promise. In everybody's land of promise, there is gold. You remember in the land of promise, when God took Adam into the land of promise, into their land of promise in Garden of Eden, and he told them in that land, in the land that they were going to, there was gold inside, there is onyx inside, there are precious stones inside, there are raw materials inside. If your land is cake making, as Nkem just said now, by the time you invest 10,000 hours in it, you will become world famous. You would have discovered new ways to make cake. You would have discovered all kinds of cakes that no human being has ever thought about before. You would have discovered so much inventions, so much ideas about cake. You would have discovered how to popularize, how to yourself, and how to market yourself. The whole world will have been looking for your cake. That is what it is, because you have invested your time, you have invested your energy in cultivating your own land. But not cultivating the land of the people you are working for. That they are the ones. But see what it says here in Genesis chapter 2. It says, and out of the ground made the Lord, to grow every tree of pleasant, look, out of the ground, the land of promise that God has given unto you, God will make, when you begin to cultivate that ground, when you begin to walk on your own ground, when you begin to invest yourself into the ground that God has given to you, into your land of promise, the miracles will begin to happen. And what are the things that will begin to happen? God will begin, because you are working, you are investing your life, you are investing your time, you are investing your energy in that land. God will cause that there will grow every tree that are pleasant to the sight. There will be miracles. Things will begin to grow up for you. Trees will begin to come up. Opportunities will begin to come up to you. Chances will begin to come up on you. As soon as you begin to invest yourself and your life in your own land of promise, as soon as you begin to really, put your energy, creative energy in doing what you need to do, as soon as you identify that territory and you begin to cultivate it more and more, things will begin to come up. Trees will grow from that land. Before you begin to work, nothing came up. But now things will begin to come up. And good food will begin to come up. So there is provision in your land of promise. Your land will begin to give you what to eat. Your land will begin to give you provision. Your land will begin to give you blessings. Your land will begin to give you good. The goodies of life. The goodies of life are in your land of promise. And it's not my word. It's said there in Genesis chapter 2 verse 9. The good food. Good food is in your land of promise. Good food is not in your land of salary. Good food is not in your job. Good food is not where you are going to work. Good food is not in the salary you are getting. The salary you are getting is just to make you to keep on coming back. Before the end of the month, you've already spent that salary and you have to come back again. And your job is just your bondage, where you are afraid they will fire you. You must wake up 8 o'clock in the morning and go there, and then you don't like that job, you hate it, but you must still keep on going back there, because that is slavery. It is bondage. But when it is your land of promise, you are working 8 hours a day, or you are working 4 hours a day, or 10 hours a day. You are investing yourself in that land. As soon as you begin to cultivate your land, as soon as you begin to germinate and cultivate your land, you will begin to find good food. God will begin to bring about good food. God will begin to bring about pleasant trees, pleasant sight. Things will begin to come out in your life and destiny that you never even knew that existed. In your land of promise, things are buried in that land. Opportunities are buried in that land. Good food is buried in that land. Pleasant things are buried in that land. Pleasant promises are buried in that land. It is with the word of God. Genesis 2:9. And the trees of life are also in that land. You will find life. You will really begin to live for sure when you begin to cultivate your land. When you begin to cultivate your land of promise, when you begin to invest in your land of promise, in your own gift, not in somebody else's gift, or not in somebody else's territory, but in your own gift, in your own calling, then you will begin to see that not just the good things of life are coming to you, the pleasant things of life are coming to you. You begin to see that there is life in it. You begin to find life for yourself. You begin to just enjoy life. You begin to find pleasure in life, joy in life, satisfaction in life. Instead of you forcing yourself to go and work, you want to work on it more and more. Instead of you to force yourself because you are afraid that they will fire you, or they will kick you out of job, or they will reduce your salary, you cannot pay your bills. You are not doing this out of fear anymore. You are doing it out of love, out of passion, out of who you are. You are investing yourself in your own destiny, in what God has called you to do. And you also know you are bringing the kingdom of God there. You are bringing the principles of God there. You are doing it the way God wants you to do it. You are using it to glorify the name of the Lord. And then the tree of knowledge, you will get knowledge, you will get understanding. You have to increase yourself. You will know what is bad, what is evil. That is what will happen when you begin to discover your land of promise. But besides that, it says in verse 10, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden. There will be God will be watering you when you focus on your own territory. When you find your own land of promise and you begin to cultivate it, God will find a way to cause water. There is water that will flow through your land of promise that will bring you all provision that you need. There will be water. Water could be customers. Water could be a provision, abundance. Water could be everything that you could imagine. But not just water was flowing through your land of promise, but also there will be extension of that water, because it says, and the water parted and became 4 heads. There will be growth, because it says you should not just be fruitful, you should be fruitful, and not just be fruitful, but you should be multiply as well, and grow, multiply, increase. So just like in the garden, when you begin to walk in your land of promise, you should go. You should not just walk to survive or walk to get salary, but walk to take territories, to subdue the earth for God. You should be fruitful. You should multiply. You should grow and expand and subdue the earth and for God. That is what should be happening in your land of promise. You should not stop on faithfulness only. And then it says, the name of the first was Pison, and it passed through the land, and in it there is gold. So there will be different aspects of opportunities that will be opening to you. There will be territories and opportunities for one aspect of your something will lead you to gold, and the gold that was in the land was good. God will bring provision and make you to have gold that is good. And there is bdellium. Bdellium is another precious stone that is also good. And there is onyx. There's a precious stone as well that is also good. So God will be surprising you left and right, coming up with opportunities. That is your land. Your land is meant to do this to you. Just like Steve Jobs, his land gave him everything. His land gave him fame. His land gave him money. His land gave him, popularity. His land gave him everything. Just like me, just like any other person you hear about, just like Bill Gates, every one of them, it is because they found their land and they invested in their land of promise. Don't you ever believe any of those teachers who tell you that you cannot have your own vision. That is Antichrist teaching. Every one of you must have your own vision. The Bible says in Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4 and 5, that before you were called, before you were even made, you have already been called by God. And while you are in your mother's womb, you have been anointed to be a prophet to the nations, to be a prophet somewhere, to be sent somewhere, to have a calling. You have been anointed to do something. You are sent to the world to do something. You are given a mission even before you were born. So don't let anybody tell you that you don't have a vision. But your vision shouldn't have to be in church. Your vision is already buried in you. There is no one that was born without a vision, without a talent, without a gift, without a calling. Everything is already buried in you. You are already packaged for a solution. You are already packaged for an answer. You are already packaged to be prosper. You are already packaged with your land of promise. Only you have to discover it and now cultivate it. So if you don't have a job, congratulations. Congratulations. If you don't have a job, congratulations. That's it. My time is up. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear your thought about this. I will continue this tomorrow. Mario, okay? But that's it about that. I don't know if Shioma is satisfied with my answer, but I would like to hear your comments. Let me hear your comments. If you have not shared this link yet, please go ahead and share the link right now. Let's go ahead and share the link right now. Please go ahead and share the link. Go ahead and share the link. While you are sharing the link, I want you to also go ahead and write your comments. Write your comments while those who have not shared the link are sharing the link. Those who have already shared the link should write their comments. Let's hear your comments. Ebenezer Ariwayo said, indeed, when you refuse to walk your own ground, you will end up cultivating the grounds of other people because vacuum is not allowed. Wow. Mark Derry Moses says, you are confirming great things in my life, sir. Thank God. Shuku Mori says, sir, I remember what the Bible says about the sons of Issachar in 1 Chronicles 12:32, who have understanding of times and seasons, whose brethren were at their command. Yes. And David says, my calling is wealth. Well, my calling is my wealth. Right. Ebenezer says, this is life, people. God has given everyone a talent. Even that one talent can turn to a mighty tree if you plant it and cultivate it. Preach it on, Pastor. Mark Derry says, my share is hot right now. Nkem says, I'm on the right path and taking daily decisions to enter into my land of promise. My gift is my wealth. Maria Makanjola. Oh, that's the cake lady. That's the nice cake lady. I mean, sweet cake lady. Okay, she said nice reference to the cake. Right, I remember you. You and Nkem are in the same profession. Flair Karim Matip said there is a good provision in our promised land. Yes. Omo Wonola Olu says, one must gather materials in the area of his calling, then disciple himself in investing time to become the best in it. Thank you, sir, for this message. Flair says, this message is a great and wonderful end of this series. Ufoma said, I must till my own ground so it does not go fallow. Aaron Young says, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Nkem says, creating is work. God created. So in working, our God's creative nature showcases itself. Thomas Osage said, this is lovely, Pastor. If one can prioritize one's gift and give it a lot of time to develop, it will blossom into something extremely great. Thank you, sir. Mark Derry said, that is to say, time is the currency of the earth. Yes. Blessing Jessica said, this is my first time here. I think I'm really blessed. It seems this message directed to me. Pastor Irene said, it needs to go on your Facebook page and like and follow you. Then it will be notified each time it comes in. Oh, okay. Aaron Young said, what if I have a career but I'm not happy? Yeah, because your career is not your calling. It's only your calling that will make you happy. You need to go to my blog and look for the video blog or daily broadcast and listen to, and see all the topics and that I've been preaching on the last 1 week. And the same thing, you could find it on YouTube as well. And that will help you to discover what your calling is, not just what your career is. Okay, so I'm not seeing your comments. Come in with your comments. We want to read what you're thinking about this station. David Otori says, sir, if I have calling into church ministry, how does this apply? It applies the same way, my brother. You need to know everything about God. If you have church ministry, you are supposed to represent God on the earth. You need to invest yourself in God. You need to discover God. You need to become a friend of God. You need to spend time with Him. Then you need to know everything about church and everything about people who are successful. And you need to know all the skills about running a church. You just need to invest yourself in it. If you invest 10,000 hours doing that, you'll be exceptional. If in Shuku, they say you are a great man. Thank you. Sandra said, wisdom is speaking. It is a confirmation on the decision I have taken not to invest all my time on the job, but on my calling. Good. Mashu Esong, what about some of us who are mothers with young children? How do I balance things? It's very easy to balance. I have a wife as well who is a mother of 3 kids, and she's been able to do a good job with that. Uju Olakwe Martins. Good evening, Pastor. Listening and I'm blessed. This is the truth that all people should hear, especially in the body of Christ. That person that is asking the question about children, she has more time to invest in going to church every Sunday or maybe more than one time a week. And you have time to balance that. So you have time to balance your future as well and your calling. Ojekwa Israel says, people without job are looking for job because they think that is security, instead of doing something to get by and plan on investing time on their purpose. Nkem says, Pastor, how will the person survive during those periods of investing 10 hours in developing their skills? If you listen to me very well, I said that if you need money to survive, you can take out 4 hours or 3 hours to go and work, or 5 hours, and then, just to get by what you need, and then the rest of the 4 hours you invest in your destiny. Ufoma, very correct, sir. Do what you need to do for now and invest yourself for greater fulfillment in life. Yes, you heard me. You heard me. Anyone that has not shared this link yet, please go ahead and share the link. Samuel Kalu said, why didn't this teaching come in my teens? Old age is enough pressure, and joblessness at old age is another one. Abotu says, this to me is like a global audience. Yep. Please, if you have not shared the link, go ahead and share that link. It might be a deliverer to somebody. Sharon Meot said, you are certainly freed up to hear God's voice for direction in your life during times of joblessness. You can spend quality time in God's presence when you can receive instructions on where God truly wants you to be. Like Pastor Sandey said, we must be wise stewards of our time. We must remember that we cannot get wasted time. We must make a budget for our time, like we made a budget for our finances. Topsy says, wow, this is wisdom. I was just laughing that you are congratulating those without job. Now I'm learning that it's a blessing from God and the world at large. My God, Pastor, you are so full of wisdom. May God keep increasing you in all edification of life. Thank you. Flair says, wow, this is so profound and deep. I need much more time. Who would like to sell it to me? You today said, wow, deep revelation on a platter of gold. Elizabeth said, deep, very deep. Winifred Akwan said, it is not the inability to have a job that is catastrophic, but the inability to know what to do with your time. Job and salary, greatest bondages in the world, Pastor Sandey. Yeah, Nkem says, shy, this teaching is hard though, but you are hitting the nail on the head. Right on, sir. Inyoge Udo said, joblessness is an opportunity to exploit great opportunity, to exploit the wealth of time. The inability to know what to do with your time is what's catastrophic. And to be jobless is a blessing because it is an opening to achieve and attain greater heights, and there is no controlling and manipulative strings that makes you a puppet. Job is one of the greatest bondages, and salary is the second greatest bondage. Yeah. Gift Blessing says, oh my God, I thought joblessness is a curse that you have to pray against. David said, wow, this is deep, man. Waller says, wow, so joblessness breaks the strings. Gregory Wealth to say, you can also listen to the pastor's message on soundtrack. Okay, what is soundtrack? I don't know. It is there. It is there. Good. Audio. Okay. Aaron Young, my wife isn't buying it, but I'm quitting my job anyway. Before you quit your job, Aaron, you have to listen to those messages on how to discover your calling. Please discover your calling first before you quit your job. Okay, let's discover that calling first before we quit the job. Ola Martin said, joblessness exposes you, open you up to the greatest wealth the world has ever known. Time. Yes, joblessness exposes you, opens you up to the greatest wealth, exposes you and opens you up to the greatest wealth the world has ever known. Time. Olu Elijah says, Dr. Sandey, you are speaking from deep source. Moses says, if you are jobless, you have all the time to discover things about you. Flair says, Paul Tembo said, Pastor, last time you didn't answer my question. You gave two conflicting answers. I asked you if we do the day-to-day kingdom things and then our calling finds us, or do we go seeking for our calling? The reason I ask is that most people teach that we have to search for it. Yes, you go, you find, you discover your calling in you, and you pursue your calling. Whatever you do day to day, it's not necessarily your calling. You have to make sure that you know your calling, discover your calling. I've already answered these questions. Well, I'm not going to answer it two times. Go, if you are really interested in answering the question, go get my messages that I've taught the past 1 week. So it's your problem. If you need it, you go get it. Why should I be the one repeating it when I could tell other things? Sheung Davis, how do I discover my call in line with scriptures? Wow, you are something. Either you've not been here or you've not even heard what I just said 1 minute ago. You are a miracle worker, I tell you. Esther Kuganja said, the greatest freedom in life is to own your own time, using it to produce for your land of calling and even get paid for it. The face of joblessness is actually a blessing in disguise. Rejoice, and we must make the most of it by putting in practice the principles Pastor Sandey has taught us all this while. Many would love to be in that place right now. Yep. Many would love to be in that place. Shioma says, vision now. The goal is 10,000 hours. This is the new goal in my house from today. Sheung said, go to Pastor Sandey's Facebook wall. You will see all the teachings on how to discover your calling. Not just on Facebook. The Facebook wall is too long. You can go to my blog. Or if you go to Facebook, go to the video section. The video section. Or get the book. The book is here. Who am I? Fleck Karim Mati, Pastor, now we all know that losing our job is not a bad thing, but a blessing. A wonderful opportunity to use our full time for the best. I understand better why God was telling me to laugh and praise God when I quit my job many months ago. Now I'm investing that time in something better. The business of my life, directly related to my calling and promised land. Praise to God. Yeah, thank God. Ebenezer says, indeed, when you refuse to work your own ground, you end up cultivating other people's ground. Yep. Obukokwo Emakuno. Pastor, I have diverse gifts and potentials that I don't know how to harness and maximize. Please, what is the name of the guy you said has all the teachings? The guy that has all the teaching is called www.pastorsundayadelajablock.com. Not Pastor Sunday, just Sunday Adelaja. You confused me. SundayAdelajablock.com. SundayAdelajablock.com. And if you want to know the name of the guy, read the comment. The comments are here. His name is right in the comment. His name is Ben Opute. Anyway, I think I should just let you go today. We'll see you tomorrow. I will continue the message tomorrow. Only Shioma, if you are there, I want you to write me tonight. You must write me and let me know if you got your answer or not. If you didn't get the answer, please write me back tonight and let me know if you got the answer to that question or not. Even though I will continue tomorrow still. God bless you guys. Bye. Go and share the link if you have not shared the link yet. God bless.